Hello, hello, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Crazy Kwanzaa, and other winter solstice-oriented holiday greetings to you and yours. I am Perfidious Pete, and this is a special XCOM The Long War Holiday Spectacular. What amazing spectacle awaits your eager little peepers in this holiday spectacular, you ask? Well, that's a good question, and honestly, I don't have an answer. But if you're looking for some fantastic feats of heroism, what you should probably do is go watch our last episode. Because merciful Buddha's man boobs, that shit was a train wreck of the most astounding sort. Everything that could possibly go wrong while raiding a large UFO found a way to go wrong on that mission, including a team that refused to flee the mission zone when ordered to do so, but still somehow found a way to snatch victory from the slavering jaws of defeat. It was pretty damn amazing, and not only did they pull out the unlikely victory, they also scored more kills than the elf on the shelf will tonight after you go to bed. And unlike the elf's future victims, not a single one of our troopers wound up stabbed in the neck with a candy cane or strangled by tinsel. It was really quite impressive. Now, that's not to say no one was injured in the actions, because anytime you're doing battle with a large UFO, an injury is sort of inevitable. But nobody died, which is a nice break, or at least a nice change of pace for our typical performance. Truly, I feel that it was nothing short of a Christmas miracle. I mean, even Tiny Tim and his legion of vindictive ghost warriors were impressed by our troopers' performance, and that vicious little shit Tiny Tim is not easily impressed. So, pretty amazing. But holiday or not, we really can't afford to rest on our laurels, so it's time to get back to work and head on out to the old salt mines and get to digging. So let's see what we can come up with here.
Contact detected.
Man, the aliens are not fucking around. They wasted absolutely no time on that one, did they? Man, come on, guys. You couldn't give us a little break? It's January 7th here in XCOM world. That's Epiphany, I think? Isn't that the Epiphany holiday? Shouldn't we should be taking the time off, putting our shoes out overnight and waiting for the wise men to leave gifts in them? I think that's how Epiphany works. I'm not overly sure. The shoe-oriented, winter solstice holidays always confuse me. Anyway, large UFO. I suppose we could try and shoot it down. I'm not overly sanguine about this. Now, we just had a large UFO land, so my theory is this is probably an abduction or terror mission? I don't really like our chances of... This is probably a terror mission, actually, now that I think about it. I don't really like our chances of shooting down a terror ship. Let's feel them out a little bit. We'll toss a brick at them and see how they react. I'm gonna guess anger. I mean, if you throw a brick at someone, being angry is typically the response that you will get. The other thing you'll get is they'll run away. I mean, fuck, I'd run if you threw a brick at my ass. And this is a terror mission, I think, because the aliens paused right over Sydney. So we may have brick bail as... Okay, well, that's enough of that. I was gonna say, we may have him bail as soon as he take damage, but the flying brick that he is managed to get hit multiple times consecutively, because that's just how brick rolls. So this is probably a terror mission. Oh, nope, abductions, it looks like. Alright, then. And right there, some of the most terrifying words in the English language, folks. Tech Sergeant Tara Reid has returned to active duty. If only we could get a shark to bite her head off. I mean, I know it bit her hand off in Sharknado 2, the second one, but couldn't it have taken her head instead? I mean, so much senseless tragedy could have been avoided if only that shark had been just a little more aggressive.
Commander, we're receiving several urgent requests for assistance. There are abductions in
Yeah,
progress
swarming
at
alien
each marked
activity.
site on the
Also,
Hollow.
I'm confused by the whole swarming level of activity, despite the fact that panic in Australia is basically non-existent. I thought that the alien activity levels were somehow related to the level of panic, but apparently that was completely mistaken, and it must be based more on the size of the ship that launches the mission. Still, we have no choice but to get stuck in. Fortunately, I think we should have at least a reasonable crop of troopers available. Now, we did use a number of our good troopers, including Justin Alpha Dog Timberlake and T Swizzle, the Crimson-Lipped Goddess of Death, on our last mission. Although I'm seriously considering downgrading Taylor Swift after her performance on our last mission. I'm not sure she's a death goddess anymore. She may be more like a death demigod. I'm starting to question your chops, Taylor. I really am. But I digress. Let's put together the best crew we can. Now, Joss Whedon was in a timeout on our last mission, so he did not get to attend, but he should be ready here. And we were foolish in the extreme in that we didn't take an engineer on our last mission, so we should probably have Kesha available too. Right now, though, we need to find some manner of officer to lead this shit. Hugh Real Steel Jackman actually did a fine job for us on our UFO raid. Despite the fact that he missed a sectoid, the same sectoid, like 35 times. It was quite the gunfight between the little gray fellow and Real Steel, but Real Steel did eventually come out on top by way of keeping the sectoid pinned down until Red Brown could shoot it in the back. But hey, sometimes in a war of attrition, you know, never hurts to call for a consult. Anyway, let's get these guys kitted out. So we're going to have Amanda the Man Bynes. She is the man. And we probably actually would have been not in a shameful position to have had Amanda Bynes on our last mission, but despite her absence, we still did okay. Amanda's going to be wearing our Banshee armor. Going to give her, of course, a Gauss long rifle. Little bit of scope and a little bit of laser sight. Going to complete that suited kit. And say hi to General Mr. Jiggles for me, Amanda. I know he's somewhere in the base cackling right now with his headless puppet, which is creepy in the extreme, but nonetheless disconcerting to the aliens, so we let you get away with it. Do we have an infantry guy at all that's available? We have JCVD. Or Tay Groovy Diggs. You know what? Let's take Tay Diggs out. I don't think the Groovinator has had a chance to go on a mission. Or maybe he did. I don't recall. Either way, after our last mission, I feel that our groove levels are probably have dipped to an unacceptable level, so it'll be alright to have Tay Diggs give us a quick groove injection. Couldn't hurt at any rate. Slim Shady Memorial Slug Slinger for Tay. We're going to equip him also with a scope and a laser sight. Let's get him sorted. So we've got a sniper and infantry. Going to need a scout of some variety. Pink? It's either pink... wait, wow, Kanye? Kanye's finally back on duty. Well... Oh my god, Kanye, buddy. What has happened to you, sir? You've suffered so many critical wounds, your aim is just abysmal. It might be a trip to the mech lab for you, sir. Wow, it's not looking good. We are going to take Kanye West, despite his atrocious new will, since Kanye apparently has suffered a number of grievous wounds in the line of duty. It's unfortunate, Kanye. Arc thrower and a flashbang, of course, going to complete Kanye's kit on top of that alloy cannon. What will young North look up to Kanye when his father has basically been reduced to a gibbering idiot who leaps at the sight of his own shadow? I mean, you're going to be reduced into a panic attack anytime that you see basically a moving humanoid form. The 21 willpower, you're going to be pretty easily startled there. Let's get the Hamletizer out as well. We'll go with Phalanx armor, I think, for the Hamletizer. Save our last 3 suits of good armor for someone who's probably going to be a little closer to the action. And since the Hamletizer isn't exactly sporting the best armor in the world, we're going to tool him up with a scope and an alloy bipod, and he'll be taking advantage of his squad sight ability. Also, still a little leery of putting the Hamletizer in full-on battle gear and flinging him at the enemies just with reckless abandon, because last time we relied on him, he really sort of let us down, and George Clooney paid the price. Chris the Surgeon Brown, probably a fine addition to this team. And for the Surgeon, Aegis Armor, of course, we're going to be giving him a Gauss Rifle as well. Chris has a pretty reasonable aim working for him. That's got his kit sorted. Now, we do still need an Assault Trooper of some variety. Not sure how I want to fit that out. Oh, you know what? I think Miley Yeah Cyrus will be a fine addition. Actually, Miley has been quite a solid little Assault Trooper for us. She's done some fine work in the past. I mean, not musically or from an acting standpoint. She's never, ever done fine work in either of those respects. But when it comes to killing aliens, she's quite good. I think Miley may be Mr. Calling, perhaps. Better suited for another line of work. And I mentioned engineers, and I mentioned Kesha, and since I mentioned them both, I'm totally gonna cash in on that shit. Also, Kesha, fucking awesome as well. And again, not musically or from a, acting standpoint, but when it comes to chucking grenades, she is lights out. I mean, she's got more accuracy than Adam Wainwright on his best day, which if you've ever seen Adam Wainwright pitch, you know isn't necessarily that accurate since he dies on the mound anytime it's a playoff game. But hey, baseball references are always fun, right? So that just leaves us one slot, which is going to a mech trooper, and probably going to be Drake is that mech trooper. So let's get the Drakester loaded out with a mech 2. Going to give him a little bit of railgun, of course. Grenade launcher, probably a single flamethrower should hold him in okay stead. Alloy belt, weapon gyros, pretty much the standard kit for Drake. And he and his Forrest Gumpian legs can gallivant about the mission, pirouetting, tiptoeing through the tulips, other such elegant descriptions for, putting one foot in front of the other, I suppose. Also, some serious weather happening here on Earth, if you'll note. We've got just wicked worldwide storms. It's, I mean, that's some 2012 day after tomorrow, end of the world kind of weather patterns going on right there. I'm not necessarily sure we should let our troopers leave the base. It seems a little unsafe. Maybe we could rely on Mother Nature to destroy our foes.
For assistance, so that's our next drop site. We're still seeing dozens of reported abduction attempts coming.
Only
in from
Exalt is
cities
supposed to be
around the world.
allowed to
You'll be
fight on
deploying
this
at the site of the
laundromat.
latest report.
I think they're going to be a little pissed that the aliens are horning in on their action. I mean, we've blown up like 55 of these laundromats now. If we keep destroying them at the furious rate we're destroying them currently, Exalt will have no refuge remaining. I mean, they're supposed to be in league with the aliens. It seems like they should at least, you know, maybe have a conversation about their overall goals and plans, and that one of them's taking a shit in the other one's sandwich. Always say, don't shit where you live, but apparently Exalt is not really a fan of that motto. So for once, we won't have a trooper that we have to rush to rescue. We can actually take our time and approach this mission from a basic, sound, tactical format. I'm quite excited about that. So we're going to advance cautiously through the old warehouse here. Tempted to actually have the surgeon chuck a battle scanner down there. And I'm beyond tempted. I'm going to do it. So we're just going to have him chuck one down this alley just to see what's lying in wait. I can't imagine that there's nothing down here. We did have swarming levels of alien activity, so there's going to be dudes pretty much everywhere. But a pot of Seekers? We should probably just pop that. I mean, it's just Seekers. Also, we have a battle scanner down. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to bring the man over here. This should not pop the pod, actually. Now watch the game immediately make a liar of me. Nope, nope. For once, not getting trolled. I'm a little beside myself, actually. I was so expecting to be hardcore trolled there that I didn't really have a non-troll comment prepared. It's a comedy failing on my part, folks. You got to be better prepared when it comes to getting trolled by video games. It's occupational hazard, I suppose. Anyway, a little bit of Overwatch there. The Weedinizer's going to hunker down. Joss still feeling a little shame after the death of George Clooney. He's not totally recovered, and well, he's prone to cowering when he's feeling unappreciated. He'll be doing the same thing in his closet if Avengers 2 gets bad reviews. So there's a Cyberdisc sound, and at this point, honestly, a Cyberdisc not something that I'm feel even the slightest bit threatened by. I did hear a Muton sound, which means probable berserkers. Amanda Bynes is going to pop this pod by killing this Seeker, however.
Nailed him.
Yep, right through the eye hole.
Target acquired.
So here comes some more Seekers, and what appears to be a Thin Man. Now, I do want to point out, on our large UFO mission that we did, Thin Men were a serious problem for us. We had one Thin Man who had squad sight, and he was just abusing the shit out of us.
That's what we're looking for.
He was, I mean, he was smacking us around like Ike and Tina. It was ugly. Ugly. We could have Kesha whip a grenade, but she could also, alternatively, probably whip one over the fence. So we're going to give this position to Tay Diggs and let him give the old Memorial Slug Slinger a little workout. Kind of sight it in. Well, not the most amazing damage ever, but he did hit his target. Yeah, Drake can probably get this taken care of for us.
Affirmative, Commander.
We're going to send in the Drakester. And those Thin Men scampered onto the roof and away from us. They're probably going for the equivalent of radio for backup. There's a kill for Drake. Despite a somewhat low percentage hit chance, I'd like to point out. Ever since we chopped Drake's arms and legs off, I really feel that his usefulness has been dramatically enhanced. Not sure whether that's some kind of side effect of the cybernetic augmentations or just sort of a placebo effect in that he feels more confident in his robot arms and legs. Not exactly sure what to attribute his newfound success to, but I gotta say, I am appreciative that he has begun enjoying it. You know, I may run and gun here just for a little better shot. What's your hit percentage? Yeah, real bad, actually. So we are going to activate run and gun, and we're going to send
Heading to that location.
old Miley up behind this crate. That should give her a little better chance. Well, not hugely better, but slightly better. Nice whiff from Miley.
That is
So that
not
just leaves
good.
us Kesha, I believe. Dash is going to have to take cover behind this dumpster. I don't really want to use a grenade on a single target. It just seems kind of wasteful. And if we were smarter players, we would have had her take that shot before we let Miley Cyrus miss. But, well, let's just say that me and Smart, not exactly, we don't exactly get along, folks. We're not the greatest of friends. Chris the Surgeon Brown's going to get it done for us, however. Only problem with that is, if we do have an alien with squad sight on the map, he now has a pretty reasonable chance at doing some serious wrecking work to Chris the Surgeon Brown. Those are the risks you take, though. My guess is they would probably choose to shoot at Chris Brown, or rather, sorry, Chris Brown. They would rather shoot at Drake instead. I personally, if given a choice between shooting at Chris Brown or Drake, would shoot at Chris Brown 100% of the time, but that's just me, I suppose. Personal preference, to each his own. Who would you shoot at if given the same situation? So sort of like a American Express presents You Make the Call. Who would you kill? So, you know, with Amanda the Man Binds, I don't really think it would necessarily be the worst idea to have her grapple up to the roof just to sort of take a peek and see what's up here.
Throwing the hook.
So she can hook on up. And I'm not entirely sure how she ended up over here. But I gotta say, I'm not pleased with the outcome. Also, she didn't pop these pods? What the... I don't understand what the hell's going on here. So, clearly, that was a bug, and now the pods have popped. Fortunately, Amanda able to grapple her way to safety, and still has a move. What the shit? So, yeah. That's weird, actually. Is there any way for that berserker to get up to us? And I think the answer actually is no. I mean, there is a way for him to get up to us, but I don't think he can do it in a single move, and he certainly can't charge it. Why do I still only have grapple active? We've got some absolutely bizarre shit going on here, folks. Amanda Bynes is locked in permanent grapple mode until it stopped for whatever reason. Okay, that was odd. That was very strange. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but that's okay. Amanda Bynes should be in a relatively safe spot, and we've been coming up with quite a few bugs lately. We've ran into some very unusual behaviors from the game. It's a little troubling, to be perfectly honest. I have Tay Diggs going to Overwatch here. Gonna want to move Kesha a little bit farther forward. And same for the old Kanye. Our goal is going to be to try and go around this corner and put down that... Miley Cyrus can reload. And put that berserker down. Actually, why don't you reload as well, Chris Brown? Put that berserker down before it really has a chance to interact with us. So our grapple maneuver has somehow popped every pod on the map without actually activating them. I have no idea what's going on. This is some very bizarre behavior we've got. Maybe that berserker isn't popped? I honestly, at this point, can't tell. So we're going to have Joss Whedon peep out. And it looks like the Joster has vision on a Thin Man. We'll go ahead and try and kill this punk. And Joss Whedon's going to lay him on the ground with some serious authority. So let's see if Amanda Bynes is still bugged. Now, ideally, we want to keep Amanda Bynes as far away from those cyberdiscs as possible.
Okay.
But let's just move her on foot, since the grapple can no longer be trusted.
Roger that. Scanning.
And apparently we did not pop any of those pods. For whatever reason, they didn't actually activate. Not complaining.
I'm on the move.
It's handy to know where the enemies are. Oh, okay. Well, here's somebody was on Overwatch. A Thin Man. 5 damage. Not insurmountable, actually. Had I known those guys were there, probably would have moved a little bit differently, however, because my goal would have been to try and flamethrower the shit out of this guy. But that's not going to happen. Also, nice miss. So we may not have enough remaining damage actually to get a kill here. That's real bad. Guy has a lot of health. A lot of health. Alright, so we're going to definitely bring Miley Cyrus to here, so she can butt plug. Could kill that guy. We may revisit that in a moment. Let's see what the rest of the team can do
Moving
here.
out.
So there's Kesha. We're going to have her chuck a grenade. This should at least damage, if not flat out kill, our Thin Man friend. Alright, so we get, this looks like a little bonus damage out of Explodo Car. And Joss Whedon's suddenly in a not great position. Joss is on Overwatch, I think? Yeah. Alright, well, we do have a chance, actually. Miley Cyrus can hit this guy twice. Let's hope she does not get intimidated. Resist, Miley! Resist! Alright, so Miley gonna get another free shot. And this is why we always say, folks, in case of Muton Berserker, bring breaching ammo. Because Miley is gonna tap this punk ass 3 times, and with any luck, possibly 4. Man, she put that one right in his snout. Snout is really the only thing I can think that we... See, yep, there she goes. So we're gonna get Miley Cyrus and Drake getting some snapshots here. Looks like no hits, however. Now, Miley actually panicked. Alright, well, that's okay, Miley. We still love you. I mean, you did fine damage. You still did some good work for us. So here's the Surgeon's chance. Surgeon has no targets. Well, that's not good. It's not good at all. We really need that Thin Man dead. This is a bit of a sticky wicket, folks. Tay Diggs also does not have a shot. So we've got to have somebody who can draw this Berserker out for us.
Okay.
And I think Kanye's going to have to be that someone. So here's Kanye's shot. Hollow targeting for 4 damage. This should move the unit, which again should give us some close quarters combat shots. Or not. Also good. Chris Brown, still no shot. Well, that's going to be up to Tay Diggs then. Or some combination of Tay Diggs and Chris Brown. Looks like it's going to be the combo plate. And Tay Diggs panicked, but honestly, that's... Well, to be perfectly honest, that worked out pretty well. So Chris Brown's actually going to get the kill here. So long, Mr. Berserker. And now we just have to weather the storm of whatever this Thin Man decides he's going to do to Joss Whedon, which I sort of have to guess is going to be nothing good. So here comes Cyberdiscs. That's going to have Whedon in a troublesome spot. The Jossinator is going to need to move, almost guaranteed. Assuming this Thin Man just doesn't walk up and shoot him in the back, which, let's face it, is quite probable. Nope, Thin Man going for some Mary Lou Retton style acrobatics. And I gotta say, that's a very odd choice of target, Mr. Thin Man. It's real weird, buddy.
They're falling back.
I think these Thin Man, perhaps, are looking for a little bit of payback for what Dr. Valen did to one of their compatriots. It was a pretty horrifying and gory situation, the way she... I mean, the footage is out there on the web just for anybody to see. So the Thin Man totally know what Dr. V got up to. And I have to feel that they're genuinely looking for some serious payback. And if I'm perfectly honest, I have to say, deservedly so, because I also saw that footage, and what Dr. Valen did to that man, no one should be witness to those kind of acts. It was tragic and horrifying, really. Would have expected a little more damage from Kesha, to be honest. But none of those enemies are on Overwatch, and we do have a flamethrower available. Not that I expect a flamethrower to do a crippling amount of damage, because likely it will not. It's actually not overly great in the damage department, but what it is good at is panicking troops, but the problem there is it's not even actually going to panic those guys, so let's just take some more garden variety shots. We do have a fairly large number of frightened troopers.
I'm on it, Commander.
We're going to have Kanye advance here. Alright, I was hopeful that he would not trigger those Cyberdiscs, and he did not, which is excellent. So there's one more, or rather one fewer Thin Man on the planet, and honestly, I find my heart not even slightly broken by that fact.
Aye, aye.
After what those sniping bastards did to us on our last mission, we really have earned some payback. Amanda Bynes going to take a snapshot here at Mr. Floater. And she punched his lights out like she punched out the lights of any one of her 19 separate personalities.
Headed there now.
Now, I know that's not genuinely funny because Amanda Bynes does have a diagnosed mental illness. I mean, she does have a legitimate mental health problem. But, yeah, I'm going to make that joke every time. I mean, there's nothing good or humorful about me. I'm a pretty awful person. And I'm comfortable making this kind of jokes, so... It's just the way God made me. If you don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Of course, my worst is all the time, and my best is rarely. Sounds like more mutons? I'm guessing possibly another pod of berserkers, perchance. Now, I am a little worried about these cyber discs. Or not so much worried as... Well, no. Pretty much worried, actually. I would like to spawn them. I don't want them sneaking up behind us. But I wouldn't mind another turn of setup. So let's be very careful with how we move here. Mostly the important thing is we want to get Kesha in an excellent position to deal with their bullshit. And I feel that there is probably the best position for Kesha. That should allow her to get close enough for a little grenade work on the next turn without being visible, or at least spotting those enemies to trigger them. I think we'll put Amanda Bynes there, and she's going to reload this turn.
Reloaded.
Let's get Amanda Bynes sorted, and we're going to do... Kanye is a little low on ammunition. Kanye could also use a reload, so we're going to dash Kanye to there. Don't you trigger those enemies, Kanye. You don't have the willpower to withstand it any longer. You'll be terrified at the sight of your own shadow and probably do something foolish that winds up getting someone killed. So, just,
Heading to that location.
Respect your own abilities, Kanye. Know your limits, effectively, I think, is what I'm trying to get at here, Kanye. Temet noche, buddy. Know thyself.
Reloaded.
I mean, it worked for Neo in The Matrix. It seems like it should work for you as well.
Roger that.
Because let's face it, you're no Neo.
Back online.
Alright, let's see what... Oh, those cyber discs are considerably farther away than I had thought they were. And they don't appear to be moving at all. There's some crash crashing? Crash crashing. That's sounds like a new sport from New Zealand, where they like put you in a giant... some kind of giant lucite sphere and roll it around. Crash crashing.
Headed there now.
What I meant to say was there was some glass crashing over behind us, so we know we've got some foes working their way through this building in all probability. And we're just going to take another setup turn here. Like I said, I'm going to take this one a little bit slow. Want to be very careful. And you have no cover at all, huh? Well, that's kind of suboptimal. We're going to readjust with Amanda Bynes, put her on Overwatch. We're going to bring Drake... probably right there, actually, a good spot for Drake. This should not give us vision on the enemy. Alright, excellent. It's going to be Overwatch then for Drake. And we're going to bring the Surgeon right around this corner. Surgeon's going to go on Overwatch for us.
Got it covered.
Kanye, going to back up Drake. Hiding behind Drake is...
I feel, Commander.
Well, it's Kanye's new thing. I mean, he didn't get it featured on Nicki Minaj's Only, on her new dope track about chicks with big asses who just don't care. And not that there's anything wrong with having a big ass. Some, you know, a lot of fellas are into that, and that's cool. But Drake really heartbroken because both Chris Brown and
Let's do this.
I can't remember. Actually, Chris Brown and one of the other guys that's in our barracks were both featured on the track. And I know that Drake was it Kanye West? I can't remember. Anyway, they're little disconcerted about being passed over for the gig. Let's just say that he was feeling a little bit underappreciated. So, fantastic hit percentages, and actually Joss Whedon should be able to straight up kill this cyber disc. Good lord, that was a ton of damage. So much damage on the first one that we're actually not even going to shoot at it again. We're going to shoot at his buddy. So 27 damage in 2 shots. That's pretty damn fantastic output. I can't complain about that at all. So Kanye is going to draw out the Overwatch. We're just going to have him dash out this window and get shot at a little bit. Now, if Kanye's will were truly accurate, this right here, just the sight of enemy activity, would actually cause Kanye to panic and, well, lose control of his bowels, to be honest with you. I mean, he would panic and mess himself. Which, you know, not necessarily an unreasonable behavior. It's a pretty dangerous looking crew right there.
Heading to that location.
They're not going to be too terribly dangerous for much longer, however, because fortunately for our team, Kesha is in the house. Or in the hizzy, as Drake would say. And those guys are fucking dead. So Kesha, in a giant murder fury, allowing these cyber discs to do part of her dirty work for her. Gotta say, that was a hell of a grenade, Kesha. Seriously, that was, I mean, remarkably well done. Nothing but love for you, Kesha. Much like every dude in the club, nothing but love for you. Well, I mean, let's face it, those guys also have Rohypnol, which I do not have. I love what you do for us. Those guys are just looking to sort of get date rapey.
Hunt him down. Yes, sir.
Miley Cyrus gonna run and gun again and try and finish off this last drone. 64%, it's probably good enough. There we go.
Down.
That's actually what Miley Cyrus's teachers and private tutors that she had during her career and pretty much most of her life have all said about Miley's school leader. Thanks for making yourself sound like an asshole when you're trying to say scholar. Try to insult someone's intelligence and then immediately sound like a fucking giant asshole. That's, I find, the best way to go. Really helps strengthen the case, or you know, really promotes your argument when you sound like a fucking blithering idiot while you're trying to insult someone for being a dumbass.
I'm on the move.
Anyway, as I was trying to say, 64%, pretty much what all Miley's tutors have said about her scholarly performance. They're like, 64%, it's good enough. She's got a famous dad. She's never going to hurt for money. She's sort of attractive, so, you know, she's got that working for her. And, reasonable singing voice. I mean, also Disney, so she's got plenty of support. I don't really think that Miley's going to starve, regardless of how poor she does. With her studies, it doesn't really matter. I mean, basically, she could be brain dead and you know, partially blind, half deaf, only have one leg.
10-4.
Any other thing that's not necessarily related to her intellect, but, you know, is what one would consider a challenge or some kind of deficit to overcome.
Overwatch confirmed.
And she'd still be okay. I mean, basically she could be, I mean, an abjectly worthless human being, and she's still never going to go hungry.
Moving to Overwatch.
Or no want. So, I mean, Miley's pretty well suited. I think a 64%. We really don't need to try is effectively what her tutors were getting at, because it doesn't matter.
Time to motor.
That was a long, convoluted path to a joke that wasn't at all funny.
What's making that noise?
I'm guessing it's a Muton Berserker. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but we've seen one, and we've heard that sound probably unto a dozen times now. So it seems like at this point, really, you should stop being surprised when you hear those sorts of noises. But I guess the surprise never gets old. It's sort of like your birthday. These guys are always excited. They'll be like, ooh, it's a Berserker! Yay! Like somebody gave them a fucking pony or something. Yeah, why don't you take up position there? Actually, in all honesty, Amanda Bynes, you're probably okay. We're gonna send Drake over here. And Kanye, why don't you dash up to this corner, buddy? Well, because you can't get there.
Rolling out.
I suppose that's a good enough reason to not do it. Guess we'll give that spot to Tay Diggs.
Stepping off.
And then it's going to be Overwatch for Drake. And we'll kick open this door and thwart what sounds to be a pot of mutons. Possibly Berserkers, possibly not. Let's see what's in here. Well, as is my custom, of all the things I was expecting, nothing was not on the list. Let's have Amanda Bynes see if maybe they're back in this general vicinity. They are not. Well, call me suspicious, but this giant screaming horde of broken windows makes me believe that perhaps the enemies are, if not... Okay, there we go. Every window in the joint is broken, so, I mean, we knew they were around somewhere. And this wouldn't be a terrible opportunity to maybe pick up a live Muton capture. Now, the Muton capture is quite useful, as the Council, for whatever reason, very willing to trade Very willing to trade for those muton captives. They really like to pick those up. They'll give you a lot of new recruits in exchange for mutons. So we're going to have Joss Whedon start off here. That's,
Damn it.
well, honestly, sort of what we've come to expect from Joss Whedon at this point. The kill has sort of become the exception for Joss. Now, given his proclivity for jossing people, I mean, he has his own word for randomly killing folks. They turn his name into they turn his name into a verb for unexpected death. But given his proclivity, he's shown lately a remarkable reluctance to just randomly joss a dude. It's a little strange. You know what? Why are we doing this? Why? Well, because I'm bad at XCOM. That's the answer to the question that I hadn't asked. But my question was going to be, why am I shooting at guys that are in cover when Kesha is available and can make all of this cover just disappear?
Going out.
I mean, when it comes to aliens being in cover, Kesha's a fucking ShamWow. She just mops that shit right the hell up. I mean, see? Look, she just ShamWowed the holy living shit out of those guys. And now Amanda Bynes is going to shoot that guy right in the mouth. Mouth? Muth? It's going to shoot her in the Ellen Muth, star of Dead Like Me. I want to set this man on fire, but I'm afraid that by doing so, he will die. And I'm actually basically certain that if we set him on fire, that he will die. So probably what we're going to do instead is have Tay Diggs advance to this cover. He's going to shoot at that man. Yep. Bad hit percentage from Tay. Also, that guy's some kind of navigator or elite. So probably what we'll do is have Drake.
Heading to that location.
Well, that just guaranteed somebody gets grenaded, but that's okay. We can deal with that. We're gonna have Drake come in, take a. Wow, that's a terrible shot, Drake. Why don't you eliminate that guy's cover then? We're trying to set up a capture on this guy, is sort of what I'm getting to, and we're gonna have somebody whack him with a flashbang to make that happen. Now that person is gonna be Kanye West, so that just leaves Miley Yeah Cyrus with a real bad shot. She can get the guaranteed kill on the guy we don't necessarily want dead, however. Which at this point we may have to go ahead and take, and then try and have Kanye whip the grenade. No, he's not going to have enough arm. Actually, I don't. Yeah. So this is interesting then. We're going to have Miley take the low percentage chance at the 2 health guy.
X-ray neutralized.
Miley, able, ready, and willing to deliver. Alright, Kanye.
Rolling.
Get in here behind the magazine rack, and why don't you whip a flashbang up and over, and drop it right on Mr. Muton's head there. Doink. So that guy gonna be in a world of trouble. Actually, you know what? This may all have been for naught, because my suspicion is
I'm on the move.
when that guy breaks for cover, that Miley Cyrus is gonna kill him with close combat specialist. Yeah, so Muton unwilling to survive. Clearly, some kind of death wish charged straight into Miley's gun.
Excellent work.
And no
All
capture,
objectives
but
complete.
still. A successful mission, no one even injured. I don't even think one of our troopers got hit, to be honest. So, Operation Lone Gaze, a resounding success. Back to the barracks. And I gotta say, the aliens are showing a rather alarming disregard for their own lives. I have to wonder if maybe they have some kind of hive consciousness where they just do what their alien overlords, the ethereals, tell them to do. And rather than be taken captive, their overlords just
Impressive work, Commander.
give them the
Our
suicide
soldiers
command.
have to be feeling good after a mission like that.
I would tend to agree, Central. Although we did have I mean, I can't say it was our ace crew because it wasn't, but we had a very solid crew there. Those guys were all pretty good. Joss Whedon promoted to maximum rank, I see. I can't help but feel that this is undeserved. I'm just throwing it out there. I can't help but feel that it's undeserved. So, Mayhem is an interesting ability. Probably going to take Mayhem, mostly because Joss Whedon... Sentinel is a very good ability, don't get me wrong, but Joss Whedon is not really set up for Overwatch. He's a squad sight gunner. He doesn't have any of the Overwatch abilities. So while Sentinel is useful, I don't really feel it's going to be great for Joss. We're going to go ahead and give him Mayhem. Just extra damage is good. It also improves his aim. Mayhem has the best stat bonus, I believe, of those abilities. Just going to look to confirm so that I know for the future. Pretty sure it gives you 2 aim, though. Love these abilities that scroll, too. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. Mayhem gives us nothing. It was Sentinel that gave us 2 aim. Still, for a long-range gunner, more base damage is probably one of the more beneficial abilities you can give him. And Joss does not have Ranger. He has Shredder ammo instead, so... Still feel that was the right choice. And Aubrey Drake Graham getting a promotion. And it's going to be close encounters for the Drakester. There's absolutely no question. Marauder with close encounters is going to be real. He's actually higher level than Taylor Swift. Is that possible? Oh, no. Taylor Swift just took reactive targeting sensors. Why did I take reactive targeting sensors? What in the hell was I thinking? I took that over close encounters? Am I an idiot? Clearly, I'm an idiot. I have gimped Taylor Swift. Oh, well. My ineptitude at the game continues to... Well, it continues unabated. I mean, I would say that it's snowballing and ever-growing, but lessons like that are hard-learned, perhaps chipping away at my icy facade and somewhat shrinking the ball as it tumbles down the hill, but the more things we earn, really the more capacity we have to pick up additional opportunities to be a blithering, stupid, just a moron. Just an absolute blithering idiot. So more opportunities for error as we advance, although I am learning a few lessons, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe I'm incapable of learning. That actually seems to be the most likely explanation for my playstyle. Just, I don't learn from experience. David Hume be damned, but experiential learning is just not something I'm capable of. Anyway, some stuff. None of which I'm overly excited or really mindful of. We picked up some meld, I suppose, which we're probably going to have to use to, you know, hack off somebody's arms and legs since Kanye's will is at 21. There was something I wanted to build down in a foundry, but at this point I'm not sure if I remember what it was. You gotta take a look very quickly. It was a weapon of some variety, I think. Just look through our list very quickly. We completed some research at Mimic Beacon, maybe? Mimic Beacon. Takes 1 sectoid corpse. Now, I did learn, actually, that on build 13, Mimic Beacons are broken, and they do nothing. So, while they are interesting, and I understand they fixed them in build 14, and they're actually quite good, but, well, we're not in build 14, so... No, that's not it. There was, I swear there was something I was very interested in. This just prevents us from being strangled, right? Yeah, no, that wasn't it. What was it I wanted to build? Oh, now I remember. Proximity mine launcher. That's what I came down here for. Since we do have Alpha Dog Timberlake, who's a mad grenade fool, and we actually have only 3 mech weapons currently, and ideally, eventually, we will upgrade our other mech to a level 2. I do want to pick up a proximity mine launcher. So we're going to get that started. And actually... Can we upgrade our other mech too? What are we short? The cash. So we have... Man, that's a ton of meld. But we have everything we would need to make another mech too. We'll probably hold off on that because we're going to need another Firestorm instead. Firestorm probably the better investment of our limited meld. Although we will build 1 more Firestorm and then we'll start saving meld towards the upgraded mech unit. But until then, we'll just have to make do with the 2 we've got. And speaking of making do, I'm going to make do with calling this an episode. So if you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Of course, your support does really mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to see more daily XCOM, consider subscribing as well. And have a happy and safe holidays, and a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year, a lovely Hanukkah, an enjoyable Kwanzaa, or whatever other holiday you choose to celebrate during the winter solstice time. Make sure and have it be happy and safe. Take care. We'll see you again soon.